essence of your true being. So now that you can rest in that for a moment, I want you to step to the side and ask yourself, who are you at work? Whatever your situation is, when you are at work, are you who you are? Or do you feel like at times, or maybe all of the time, you are who someone else wants you to be? Because when you hide yourself for long enough and on a consistent enough basis, you start to forget. You start to forget who you are. Okay, so then when I woke up just a little bit, I thought, okay, I know that this and this are not the same. This does not equal this, and that's not what I want. So I better find out what this is. Who am I? But I tell you, after years and years of being the self that I thought other people wanted me to be, I forgot. I didn't know anymore. And someone would ask me, so Kristin, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to do with your life? I don't know. What's your favorite color? Blue. I knew that one. That was an easy one. But the ones about who I am, how I want to express myself in this earthly reality that we find ourselves in on a day-to-day basis, I couldn't remember. Be out of desperation and seeking everywhere I could look, I finally realized, oh, I guess this is my life, and I guess I am the one that's going to figure out who I am and how to be that way in my everyday life, in the practical everyday life, going to work every day if that's what you do. I've always had this struggle when I started waking up a little bit more and realizing there's this deep spiritual essence that you can't put your finger on, but it's always there. And I started realizing, hey, wait a minute. I've got a job over here, and then I've got this beautiful, I know there's this connection. I know we're all one. And I would say these things that I'm reading and these books that sounded right and felt right, and I didn't fully understand them. Kind of did here and there for like a moment, and then I would forget again because I would have to go to my job, or I'd have to do the dishes, or I'd have to run an errand or fix my car, or any of those other millions of things that distract you from this. I'm still like two people. This isn't working. I can't do that. Something is still needs to change. And this is where I started to ask, is my work also my life's work? There's so much distance between where I am now and how I can possibly get over here to where this thing is going to be real. How can I get there? I became very driven to figure out how to do this, how this can equal this. Your job is also your life's work. How can you do all of this? How can we bring it together? Because the truth of it is, okay, we are spiritual. And, not but and we're walking this earth. We're in these human forms. We're expressing ourselves in these linear ticker tape ways, one word at a time, one letter at a time. So what you do is you start to come up with really small, easy, safe examples of bringing that idea into form. So for a really simple example is, let's say that you're a musician and you're working on a composition that when done, when completed, will be many, many pages long. This is a huge, huge goal. What you do is you pick one small little tiny piece of that composition, 3 notes, and you play those 3 notes. So there's 2 pieces of this. One is the 3 notes have to reflect the pure essence of this amazing thing that you want to create eventually. They have to be in complete alignment. The other key is they have to be manageable enough that they don't freak you out. There is if you just look at things from an energetic point of view, so you remove your judgment, you remove all good, bad gauges from the equation, and you just look at energy. Nature is a great example. Nature is completely neutral. You go there to the ocean, you could die. Doesn't matter to nature. You could swim and have a great time. Nature doesn't care. The sun could be shining, there could be a tornado, whatever. Neutral, nature, neutral. Energy is neutral. And I think there's like this certain threshold where you walk on the air just enough that a new foundation emerges all of a sudden, but you have to take the step first. I really have experienced that myself. If you have to take the unknown step first, the new foundation will never appear otherwise. So you've got to take the step. I had this experience once, and oh God, it was really crazy. I was lying in bed. I'm kind of half awake, half asleep. You know that state of mind where you're in? Okay, so I'm like lying there, and I think I really am asleep. And all of a sudden, there was like this hole that opened up underneath my bed, like it's an abyss. It just went down forever into the depths of hell. And it was terrifying. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fall into the hole, right? So I'm like lying there. And I was terrified. So of course, as soon as I'm afraid, of course I start falling into the hole, because that's what fear does. You're afraid of something and it sucks you in and you go with it and you do what you're supposed to do and let that fear manifest. And I was grabbing onto the side so that I wouldn't fall in all the way, right? And I'm like clinging to the sides of this hole. I'm like, I'm going to fall. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just done. And I just let go. I fell for the 1 second, not even 1 second. And all of a sudden, I soared. I just went into this whole other dimension where I was floating. It completely transformed me and my relationship to fear.